Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Good morning. Good morning. Jackson's here. Jackson, you want to make an appearance? Come here. Jackson, come here. Jackson, come here. He doesn't want to make an appearance. He just wants to eat this food. Look what the guys from Curve sent me. That's what you get because I push their funds all the time, so they just send me a gold bar. They send me 5 gold bars. Think about that. That's pretty nice. Do you guys anyone know how I cash this in? Trying to figure out how to cash the darn thing in. Anyway, I hope everyone had a good vacation. But yeah, that's a cool little keepsake. K Gold has been incredible. I mean, I'm really not a big curve guy, as you guys know. I'm more of a shill for blocks and alti for some reason, the ones that go down all the time. Anyway, I picked the bad ones. I wish I was a shill for freaking K Gold and K Silver. I wish I was talking about them as much as I talk about blocks and alti. I swear I don't get paid to talk about blocks and alti. I just like blocks and alti. And I also like K Yield and I like WPay, but I just honestly like those types of funds that switch in and out. I just like that style of trading. Anyway, all right, guys, let's see what's up. Oh, and I don't know anything about gold and silver. I'm glad it's going up, but I don't want to start talking about those every day because I'm afraid gold and silver will turn around and go the other way. And so I'm trying to stick with what I kind of somewhat know about. There's Mark. How you doing, Mark, out there from the great state of Virginia? Beautiful state of Virginia. And then we have my friend Marcus from the beautiful state of Pennsylvania, part of the original 13 colonies. Both Mark and Marcus are blue blood option traders. They go way back. All right, guys. Okay, a couple things. My second monitor broke. The monitor's not broke, but I need to get a new cable. But I'm doing some changes here, so we don't have 2 screens today. We're going to go back to 1 screen today. All right, what's Marcus saying here? Yeah, I know there's, and I haven't even checked Discord yet. I really haven't been gone that long. I got back Saturday, but I kind of screwed around this weekend, and I told you guys in Discord I'm doing some new stuff around the office, getting some new technology, and been doing a bunch of stuff. So I meant to take a couple of days off, but I wasn't trying to take time off of Discord, but it's a long story. Anyway, I'm back. You guys can always text me, Marcus or Mark. You guys both have my number. And the fact that I didn't get any text told me there wasn't any emergencies. But yeah, but I'm sorry I was gone. All right, guys. Let's see what's up. Let's see what's up with the market. And I was watching the market. I got up in my sister's house and got up early and had on CNBC, and I was still working on stuff. I just wasn't doing my streams. Okay, so here we go. I mean, I did a couple from my sister's house. Did you guys see the one where the dog barked and I had to freaking go downstairs and lock the dog outside? That was. But so also I'm making an excuse, or none of my charts are set up. Nothing's set up. But man, I like the looks at that. Look at that. Nothing I like a gap up in the morning, a morning bullish gap. Look, we had one back there too. And that one was tested and kind of for the most part is held or whatever. So far anyway, especially after today. We have dueling gaps here. I'm sure you guys know about this. This is more for my education. Jackson, what are you doing? You've got to be kidding me. Jackson, you got to come up here. I got a treat. You got to come here. Come here. Hang on. Jackson, hang on. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, this is more for me, but I'm sure you guys, especially Mark, and I'm sure you too, Marcus, we got a bearish gap up here. And we got a bullish gap underneath us and another bullish gap underneath us, a bearish top on gap of us, a bearish gap that we're on top of. So we're stuck between these gaps. Bulls really want to get a close over 690. Let's look at the Qs and see if that's, I'm sure, like I say, I'm sure this is, you guys know that. Yeah, the Qs are still dealing with this higher supply area. I mean, we really got to get through 622 through 624, but it's all bullish on the other side of that. All right, let's look at Bitcoin. Man, was blocks really up 6% on Friday? My gosh, that's what my we'll look in a second where I got that information. That maybe that's wrong. But I mean, if Bitcoin's acting like this, that's all blocks. I mean, as you guys know, Bitcoin and blocks are one and the same, basically, or probably about 90% correlated. Heck yes, look at that. I need to stop doing live streams more often. I mean, the market turned around. That's awesome. I like to see that. Let's look at blocks. I hope I'm sharing the screen. I am. Yeah, but the new setup ought to be in by Wednesday, and it ought to be really. Hopefully, it'll be a lot better. But just think about it. I'm going to have a modern M4 chip. This is an i7 in my new computer. I'm getting a new computer, a new main computer. It's going to have all the latest stuff, and it's going to be Apple. So I'm going to love it. I was tempted to get it. I was tempted to get a really nice PC, but I'm just an Apple guy. All right, so look at this. Blocks is gapping up, and that's after Friday's big move up. You've got to freaking be kidding me. Let's put it on daily bars. Heck yes. And have you guys seen K Gold and K Silv? My God. Okay. Yeah. So holy cow. Look at these on the daily bars. Now blocks made a higher low, which was good. And another higher low, which was good. The 3-bar turnaround here, whatever you want to call it. Look at this, a 6% up day, 10%, whatever it was, a huge up day. And it was on ex-dividend day. Think about that. They paid a 12-cent dividend, and they were still up whatever they were up, right? That was on X day. That's incredible. And then the day after X day, I mean, this thing's a monster. All right, well, let's see how ULTY is doing. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Going up as well, up 1.5. We'll take it. We shall take it. Let's look at all ULTI. Do we dare? Heck yes. Well, yeah, ULTI is very similar to blocks. It's more similar to blocks than to ULTY. ULTY is actually, especially the new build, is more similar to K-yield, especially the new build with all the non-correlated stuff and precious metals. But in any event, but the old build of ULTY was similar to blocks and similar to the current build of ULTI, in my opinion, somewhat. But anyway, heck yeah, because these guys did not make a higher low. They made a lower low, unfortunately. And I think that's dividends on, dividends off. I don't think it matters. Well, dividends on, dividends on, they even made a higher low. Anyway, whatever, but they're going the right, or they did make a higher low, dividends on. They're going back the right direction. I'll turn the dividends off so we see the actual prices. Okay, well, that's good news on those. So how's K-yield doing? Heck yeah. Let's look it over here at K-yield. But yeah, Marcus, I know there's a bunch of things in Discord for me. I'll go look at them. I'll go look at them. I'll react to them. I appreciate that. Sorry if anyone sent me a message, but I also check my email. Even you guys that don't have my phone number, everyone has my email, and I didn't get any emails. I got one or two, but anyway. But yeah, look at K-yield. This thing's a monster. Look at all these freaking ones are gapping up today. I just love to see that. All right, well, let's look at WPay. It's not at Diva because it can't really switch stocks in and out actively. The stocks have to become part of the Round Hill family, and then they get put in, which is good. But it's not really a Diva, but it has Diva tendencies for sure. Now, this one also made a lower low, which is not a great look, remember, because ULTI made a lower low, but all the other ones made a higher low, right? Let's look back. ULTI made a higher low, but that's where those puts come in handy. They don't have as much downside risk as something like blocks or ULTI. They actually made a higher low, and this is with dividends off. This is not factoring in dividends. Price alone, they made a higher low. Let's look at blocks. And blocks, same thing. Price alone, not factoring in dividends, they made 2 higher lows. Great job, blocks. You may not really want to count this day, but anyway, whatever. But then K-yield, on the other hand, yeah, K-yield, dividends not included, but it looks like they made an equal low. ULTI was the only one that actually went down and made a lower low. But anyway, it's going the right direction now. All right. Great job. Let's see who else here. But then I have the diversified divas we can look at. But hey, Dan, what's up? I don't know if you saw Discord, but I'm getting a new desktop. We'll talk about it later. I'll probably need your help with an adapter or something. In fact, I do. I do need to see, but it's an Apple adapter you probably won't have. I'll text you later, Dan. All right. All right, Mark goes what? DDNQ. Here's another problem I've been having. My brother-in-law is he's a optometrist, and so I got a new pair of glasses, but these aren't them, and so these are just loners, and I can't see where. That's another reason that dual monitor thing doesn't work when I don't have on my glasses, because I can't see near and far at the same time. I can either see one or the other, not very well. So I don't know. Those will probably get here Wednesday or Thursday, also about the time the new computer gets here. So the service will probably be a little bit worse than usual between now and Wednesday. Anyway, DDNQ. Okay, I'll look at that. I had to scoot up close to that. Yeah, blocks is bloxing and alti is alti. Okay, well, Marcus, should I look at that now before I forget? Or let's while we're on blocks and alti, let's stick with the content I have generated, and I'll get back to that in a second. Let's get back. Let's stick with what I was working on. I've been working on a lot of stuff also with the AI and some stuff that you guys haven't been seeing, but I'm sorry I haven't had any shows on. But I'm trying to make this this diversified divas, and not only that, the max factor where it's self-updating, where I don't really have to do anything, and it just gives me a report every morning. It does the stuff. Most of the stuff I can automate. So I've been doing a bunch of that stuff that'll hopefully make the reports better going into the new year. Okay, well, that's not right there. Anyway, okay, well, there's obviously a mess up on here, but that's fine. That is fine. Let's see over here. I mean, these are right? No, that's not even right. Okay, well, and that's because I was switching stuff around. It's a long story. Yeah, they totally got this messed up. Anyway, it's whatever. Let's see here. They had something else that I thought maybe this is right. Let me show you this other one. But it's kind of a work in progress. But that's the other thing. So this computer is a nice computer from 2018. The new computer will be a brand new computer from this year. So I bet I don't have as much stuff like this. It'll have a solid state hard drive, which this does. It won't have a 4K monitor, which this does. It won't be an i7, which this is. So, I mean, but it'll be even better because it'll be a Apple M4. All the new stuff. So it should be, hopefully a lot of these problems that I have will go away. All right, now let's try it again. It looks like it fixed it. Apologize for that. Let me try it one more time. This was working great yesterday. All right, well, evidently it's back to not working again. That's fine. See, I have it doing stuff like this. It shows the weighted average of all the stocks up 1.8%, and then it shows the ETF's return, and it calculates the impact that the options have on it. and I had it doing a lot of. Anyway, I'll have it fixed soon. So anyway, apologize for that. Let's. One thing we can always count on is the old index buffer. And that's what I'm trying. I'm doing some others. I'm bringing the index buffer to the other report and stuff. I'll probably mess up the index buffer though. I probably need to leave when nothing else works. The index buffer always works, so maybe I need to leave it. Oh well, all right. Let's see what's working. Feet and 5e and never frickin' fails. The feet and 5e doctrine. Up the most or down the most. Every time. It's that concentration working for you. 1.6. Because their thing is that would make sense. I bet there's no other fund on this whole chart that tracks as few stocks. Because these are all indexes or, anyway, whatever. Y-SPY is also up almost as much as feed is. That's nice to see. Y-SPY up 1.39. Nothing really doing badly outside of SPY-T, only up a quarter point when the parent's up 3 times as much. Good job, SPY-T. SDTY, though, does look good. Feed and 5e, of course. We have SVOL looking good. I mean, there's some other good ones here. XDTs catching about 2/3 of the parent's upside. That's a lot better than SPY-T's doing. SDTY is doing kind of the best of those little funds there. Over here in Q-Land, we have, of course, we have ULTI up 5%, blocks up 4.4%, LFGY up 2.7%. Heck yes. Then we got ULTY, heck yes, up 1.6%. Great job, ULTY. K-Yield up 1.7%, have all of these. WPay, have that one. I can't take credit for ULTI, or LFGY, but I used to have it. But I've either had or had all of these. K-Yield, I mean, these are the good ones right here, in my opinion. Blocks, the Divas, Alt-Y. Anyway, all right, and the ones that are down, the only ones that are down are Salty and YQQQ. Let's look at the Yield Max Buffer report, and then we'll go look at that fund Marcus wants me to look at. I'm sure it's great because that's the letters NQ in it. You had me at NQ. Is it an NQ buffer fund? I think I've looked at it, but we'll look at it in a second. All right. On the Yield Max Buffer report, I mean, come on. I mean, everything's doing great today because the market's bouncing. Other than, I guess, China's not doing great. BABA's down. SMCY's pulling back a little bit. Everything else is doing wonderful. All right. There's that. So let's see. Sorry, the Diversified Divas isn't working, but it has been working better. You just have to take my word for it. Also, it'll go better when I had the second screen. Yeah, but okay, yeah, gotcha. DD, and Q. Okay, so that's I know what that is, Marcus. I've looked that up. That's from either CanQ or what? Not CanQ. That's either I think that's a buffer fund. So we'll see. Innovator, yeah. I was trying to say the one that started with the C that does buffer funds also. But yeah, Innovator. Okay. Oh yeah, dual direction. I actually have video recorded on there. Or I think I did a video. This is kind of a weird one. I mean, this is right. You would think this is right up my alley, but I don't know if I did a video and never released it. But I actually, yeah. They do a special little option trade where they where they can make money in either direction to a point. I thought I did a video on it. Yeah, the dual, yeah, Innovator new quarterly. So let's just look at their, I don't want to get too in the weeds, but let's look at this real quick. I mean, yeah, I was fascinated with it. It does a regular bullish strategy, then it does a little ratio spread thing to hedge which makes it where you can even make money in a down market to a point. And then it's like a buffer fund, but you can make it. Hopefully they have a little better way to explain it. Okay, so they have the 5%, 10%, and 15%. I believe this is a DDNQ is only a 5%. Okay. This is saying a 3-month outcome. Oh yeah, Marcus said a quarterly. Okay. The one that I reviewed is, okay, let's see if they have a graphic here. So yeah, this is amazing. Okay, this is the way my brain likes to think. We can also look at it in, okay, so the middle, right where it says 0%, that's where the market is when you put on the trade. The market's there. So it's a normal buffer fund. It lasts a year, just like a normal buffer fund. It makes money with the market up to a certain point. It's like that's a covered call fund. So it makes money until it gets to the sold call option. Well, then you're capped out. So that's the bad side. Well, this thing, unlike a normal buffer fund will just make it where you don't lose money from the zero line. It will just go straight here to, down here to negative, and then the buffer will be done and you'll start losing money. This somehow uses the magic of options. It uses a ratio spread, buys one, sells two, or probably sells one, buys two. Actually, it sells one, buys two, and it makes it where you still have the same buffer you have. It's a cool little trick. But if you get a slightly down market, you actually can finish the year up, but so look at this. So if the market, okay, if the S&P is down 20%, let's think about that. The S&P is down 20%. Okay, this thing, the cap is 15. It looks like the cap. So this thing's down 5%. Okay, but if the S&P is down 15%, if the S right here, this is the max. If the S&P is down 15%, this thing's actually up 15%. But the S&P is down 20%, it's down 5%. It's kind of weird, but it's not the worst deal ever. I mean, it's the same deal as a buffer fund. Anyway, yeah, these are fascinating. This is some really cool stuff. Yeah, I saw this. I swear I did a video on it, but it may be one of those videos I never did release. Anyway, but yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Marcus. I love the idea of that. You could use that application and lots of other ideas too. I mean, just think about it, to be able to turn a small loss into a profit. And then it's not, I don't really see what the give up is, because after that, it's the same as any other buffer. I mean, the give up is still the upside, because they do a ratio spread there. They sell one and they buy two, but they use leverage and they sell them more expensive. So I think they don't put out any cash to put on that hedge. So that it's a cash-free hedge, and if it doesn't hit and it goes through, you're out of your buffer. But if you had just a normal, I would think that kind of buffer fund would put a normal buffer fund out of business. I don't know why all buffer funds don't go to inverse plus buffer. I'll have to look into that. I'm sure there's an extra give up somewhere. I mean, of course there is, because there's no free money. But man, yeah, good one, Marcus. All right, I'll get in Discord and get in the middle of all that other stuff. I'm sorry I haven't done that lately. Let's see what the market's doing. Yeah, but I love that. I love the idea of that. I'm gonna have to study it more, but I mean, it looks like if you just do a normal buffer fund and don't put on that little extra layer of protection, like I say, which costs you no cash. It looks almost like you're leaving money on the table, or you're leaving potential opportunity on the table. But all right, well, the SPY's up 0.75 of a point. Let's go down to the shorter time frame. All right, well, we're right here up here in this gap. We'll see how we react. We'll see if sellers come out of the woodwork like they were here. We'll see if they're here again here, or if we go through it and close on the other side of it. We shall see. That's the SPY. The Qs don't look quite as bullish on a little local little local comparison. They still have a little bit further to go to get into the same gap on the same chart. Man, you gotta, I love that. I love that. Man, I love that. And of course, you know who else loves that? Oh, I'm sorry. Let's look at the divas again. Yeah. I mean, those high beta stocks, I mean, they're like I say, they're like, especially blocks, but also ULTI. They're, and the old build of ULTI were pretty much totally correlated to Bitcoin. But we get Bitcoin going the right direction, those will turn into darlings again. And not, they've been kind of divas lately. Anyway, good to see that. Good to see ULTI bouncing. I wish it hadn't made a new low. Not the greatest look. I do like how ULTY did not make a new low. Looked a little stronger on a relative basis. But blocks is definitely the fun of the day right now. That's, well, I don't know. It's not up more than ULTI, but blocks is on a double gap. Well, it looks like they're gapping on the 30-minute chart. You don't usually see a gap during the day. I guess you do. These aren't super liquid, and I guess you do sometimes. But anyway, that means there's a lot of people interested to buy this. People are going, get me in, get me in. People probably want to get in under 20. I know a lot of you guys buy the dip and blocks. So, you know, but yeah, blocks is blocking. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna get out here. I appreciate y'all being here. I'll be here this afternoon, and I'll go to Discord and check all those messages. I'm sure there's a bunch of other stuff. But Marcus, thanks for mentioning that new fund. I appreciate it, and I will talk to you guys soon.